Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I keep telling myself that I'm going to start filming like real YouTube videos and not just uploading my podcast, but I just get into this like hole of perfectionism, which I've never even really thought of myself as a perfectionist, but it's been more of like other people telling me that I am a perfectionist, that I kind of like, yeah, set up these like boundaries and limitations, and I just get so in my head. I think I'm the only one who is doing that. Like, I don't think you guys watching care about, I don't know, just like stupid stuff as much as I do. And I think it's like just me trying to put limitations on myself so that I don't end up doing anything. And I'm trying not to do that anymore. So for today's video, I am just gonna be showing you guys how I've been doing my makeup recently, especially because I am currently breaking out because I currently have my period for no fucking reason, because I'm now on birth control, which we'll talk about in the video, because I'm also going to be answering questions that you guys have tweeted me, because when I asked what video I should film, a lot of you guys had a Q&A, which if you request a Q&A, I really can't be like, oh, it's a lot of effort. Let's just start. It's like chit chat. Repping this food I spilled on this sweatshirt on Saturday, and this is Motz's Emery lacrosse sweatshirt, because you know, lax bro. Frat bro, lax bro. I'm rearranging. Give me the mirror, give me the mirror. Okay, cool. She a shiny bitch. First thing I'm going to do is prime my face. I've already done my skincare. This is the Tarte Quench Primer, if anyone cares. TBD if I actually took my Adderall. I constantly forget if I've taken it or not. So we'll see based on like my thought tracks and if I finish complete sentences. Come closer to Papa. Cute. Let's just rock the middle part while you do this, Meghan. Nice, nice. Get that wonky ear in. Is that my, yeah, that's my wonky ear. Actually, all my ears are wonky. All two of them. So I recently started using this BB cream. It's from Eborian. It's a Korean brand. I really love this. I actually started using this because I was traveling when I was in Ecuador and I wanted something with an SPF that was like lightweight, because I was being realistic about the humidity and my face. Also because I knew what it was gonna do to my hair. Put this on here. So one of the questions I got was about my LASIK experience. And if you guys didn't know, I got laser eye surgery 2 years ago. It was fantastic. I don't even think about it anymore, which is insane. Like, I had a lot of anxiety about it. They gave me, I don't know, they said they gave me originally 1 Valium and I was like, bitch, I can go to Target with this. I need more. And so then they gave me like 2 more, something like that. So you're awake during the surgery. I even had like eyelash extensions on when I got it done. Like, not a single eyelash extension came off. I talked to a couple people who had gotten it before, which made me feel better about it, because not that like doctors downplay, but it really isn't a big deal, but like sometimes to talk through your anxieties, or just to be like, this might happen and then this and this and this, I don't know, it makes me kind of feel better. But they're like, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. But I had a friend who had gotten it and they were like, FYI, sometimes when they like do the like initial incisions or whatever, everything goes black. That doesn't mean that like you've gone blind, but like it'll come right back after that. And I was like, oh, okay, good to know. They had said like, oh, and then afterwards you can't like look at phones, look at like your computer or any screens, or even read TV, nothing. They're like, all you're gonna wanna do is you're like, just go to sleep. And I was like, cool. So I really wanted to go to sleep, but like my eyes were burning, and that is normal, but like you're supposed to sleep it off. But if you're in a lot of pain and like it hurts your eyes, like it's hard to sleep. So I wish I had known that, because then I would have like had food immediately after and then taken like a Benadryl or something to put me to bed, like, or an Advil PM. I have always had halos, which is like when you look to like lights, especially at nighttime, they like amplify. I don't know, they get weird. I'll like insert a picture of what that looks like. That was not a new addition, but that pretty much does happen, I think, like with everyone once you get LASIK. And eventually I'll need reading glasses, which like everyone does, but it was great for me. I think if you are good with contacts, here, I'm gonna use Tarte Shape Tape while I continue talking about it. If you're good with contacts and those work fine for you, I don't think like LASIK is like a necessity. It also can be pretty expensive, but my health insurance covered it, because people who like their unionized like work hours are longer than the allotted hours that you're supposed to wear contacts in a day. That's how like mine was covered by my insurance. But for me, why it was so worth it is my eyes changed shape. I always had, I forget what it's called when you have like weird shaped eyes. I always had that, but then they got a weirder shape and there were no contacts that would fit onto my eyes. Like I would just blink them out constantly. And so that was like my eye doctor's suggestion, was my eyes just weren't gonna be able to be built for contacts. But yeah, I loved it. As you saw, I used a BB cream. And I think before, when my skin was breaking out, I'd be pretty quick to go for something way more full coverage. But I just don't think that that looks great on my skin, especially especially when I'm breaking out, like textured wise, because adding more like thick layers just adds to the texture. I like going with like a heavier coverage concealer. I got a lot of questions about my book, which I don't have an updated date for you guys. Maybe by the time that I edit this, I will, or I'll have like another update and I can insert that here. If I don't insert that, it means I don't have one. The delay, I mean, the delay is on me because I had like a shit end of last year and kind of just like took a hiatus from existing. And I really wasn't in the right like mindset to be working on stuff with the book that was so personal, because it is. I wrote the book originally like 3 years ago. Mats and I had just started dating when I wrote the book. Actually, no, majority of the book I had written before we even had started dating. And just my viewpoints and my opinions, and like I had grown up and matured so much over the course of the last 3 years that I wanted to edit a lot of that and add a lot of stuff to reflect like, I don't know, more who I am now. So that's also why we're waiting on it. It's still coming out, don't worry, it's not coming out in 2045. Someone asked, how do you find the inner strength to put your most personal stories into the book? It was hard. I've said this to my friends and I'm like, I don't recommend anyone to write a book. Like, it's terrible. It's not a fun experience. Also, this is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC powder. And this one is in Fair. And I'm just using brush to kind of just tap the center of my face, especially, and just set it. But yeah, I don't recommend anyone writing a book. It's a terrible experience. It's so hard and draining and exhausting and like not fun. I would have full days of writing. The stuff that I wrote at the beginning of the day wouldn't be nearly as like vulnerable and personal and open as the stuff that I write at the end of the day. It's kind of, you just get into the hang of it. That applied to the whole process and like the whole timeline of writing. So the stuff that I wrote at the very beginning when I was like just started writing the book was so much more like surface level than the stuff that I wrote at the end. But I also intentionally did that because I knew once I wrote like really, I don't know, stuff that was hard to talk about, I was like, I know I'm not gonna wanna like write like a lighthearted kind of chapter. So yeah, it was super hard, and then it was even hard to send it to my editors and have them read it. And then the same thing with like my managers reading it. I was like, oh, this is like, I feel super uncomfortable. So I'm not necessarily even comfortable being vulnerable like that. It just kind of happened. And writing is such like a personal thing that you kind of forget that people are going to read it. So I'm like not excited for it to come out, but I am excited, if that makes like sense, but who knows. Now I'm gonna go in with this like really tiny pencil brush and back into the powder, and I just go over my zits. But hey, I did a pretty fucking good job. Someone asked, how do you deal with feeling like everyone is mad at you due to your anxiety? That is the epitome of my anxiety, is being convinced that everyone's mad at me. It's simultaneous that everyone's mad at me and I'm in trouble and I've like done something wrong. And I've talked about this with my therapist, and I can kind of break down the origin of it. It's like I've got ADHD, and for majority of my life I wasn't medicated, and even now when I'm medicated, it's like I can function better and I can forget less stuff and be a little more focused, but I'm not, I don't know, I'm not performing at like a normal, but not even normal, but someone who doesn't have ADHD, like I can't perform at that level no matter how much Adderall I have in my system. So for me, thinking that like everyone's mad at me or I'm in trouble, I think really goes back to being forgetful and thinking that like I'm stupid, and thinking that like, oh shit, I fucked up, I must have done something wrong because like I forgot to do something or anything like that, and like someone's mad at me for that. But then I also, yeah, just have like complete general anxiety about people being mad at me. I finally just started like telling people. Someone will be like, hey, can I call you in a bit? And I will literally say, are you upset with me? Like I'm like, am I in trouble? Are you mad at me? And my friends and like people I work with and all that stuff have gotten into the habit of like starting emails with like parentheses, like you are not in trouble or I am not mad at you. And I just ask for reassurance. And I think anxiety kind of like tells you that like you're having these like fears and like stresses and things that are like triggering your anxiety, but you shouldn't talk about them. And like you shouldn't just be like, oh no, this is triggering your anxiety, but like don't bring it up, because like maybe like what if it's right and what if it's true? And it's never really true. And so I just started bringing it up and like asking people and just telling them like, hey, like this, I'm convinced you're mad at me. Like, are you mad at me? People who care about you and like love you, they won't like judge you needing that kind of like confirmation. And then the more that you get that kind of confirmation, I think the less that you hopefully will start to feel it. But who knows? I'm going to a new therapist soon, or an additional therapist soon, and maybe I'll find new ways to cope with it. So I'm now using Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer on the big brush, and I don't even have to worry about matching my face to my body because I'm wearing a hoodie right now. And also like I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm just probably gonna take this makeup right off, but maybe I'll take an Instagram. Okay, what else? A lot of you guys have asked me about birth control, and if you haven't seen on my Instagram, I did a whole Instagram story about the first time that I went to the gynecologist ever, which was recently, which I know. As a 25-year-old, I definitely got like a lot of heat and a lot of judgment from people who were like, how have you not gone yet? Like, you're not taking care of your body, and like, you call yourself a feminist. And I was like, welcome to anxiety. It's not logical, starring me. But what's been so great about that was not that I want other people to like have that same sort of anxiety that I do, but how many of you have like now conquered your fear of the gynecologist too, which like made me really happy. I'm now going in with the Smashbox contour palette, and I'm going into the lightest shade. I'm just gonna do it under my eyes and my eyelids. I have suspected that I've had endometriosis for like my whole life. Gonna get one with this one. Got my period when I was in middle school, and I just like right off the bat started having really, really, really bad cramps. And then I basically had like a cramp induced like seizure spasm thing, and I passed out, and I was just like in so much pain. Like I couldn't function no matter how much like painkillers I took or anything. And my general practitioner or my pediatrician had prescribed me naproxen to help with my cramps, and birth control, which I started taking, I think I started taking in like late middle school. I want to say late middle school or early high. Yeah, late middle school, because I got my period. I had my period for like 7 months straight, like heavy. And I was anemic and just like throwing up and like very sick and all of that. So my doctor was basically like, she's gonna bleed out. We need to put her on birth control. So then I was on it for the time that I was like 15, I would say like 14 or 15 until 21. And then I didn't have like a mental breakdown. If you're depressed, you will like go through phases. And I just had like at that time, like the worst, like lowest point I'd ever had. And one of the things immediately that my doctor did was take me off anything that was like inducing more hormones that could potentially be leading to me feeling more depressed. Not like the root cause of it, but that was anything that could potentially make it worse. They were like, no, let's go off this. Now I'm going with the Tarte Blush and Exposed. And so I went off of it, and then I didn't go back on until now. So like I'm 25 now, and I basically went off when I was 21. So my period didn't come back for a really long time because I had been taking the birth control like consistently. Like I didn't do the placebo pills because of the fact that I was bleeding so much that my doctor didn't even want me to have a normal period, because they're like, the second that you start bleeding, like your body has a really hard time stopping. Because I also have this thing called von Willebrand's disease, which is a blood clotting disorder, which isn't super serious, but if you are anemic, and it can affect like having really long periods and then just like bruises that never go away, like the bruise on my leg from the summer before 7th fucking grade. Like, so yeah, I didn't have one for a really long time. And so because of that built up like medication in my system, it took a while for my period to come back to normal. And once it started to come back to normal, it probably took a year for it to start to come back to be regular or closer to being regular. And then over the course of the last 2 years, I would say really the last year, my cramps have gotten back to where they used to be, which is like crippling. And if oh my God, I like would cry talking about it. It's like, I can't cry right now because I just put makeup on. But if you've never experienced like really, really, really bad cramps, I can only explain it as the kind of pain where like you say things that you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't keep doing this, which like is like a scary statement, that you can be in so much pain like every single month that you like can't look at your whole life, like being able to like survive that and live through that. She's good. I'm gonna go into the Tarte Pro Glow, and I'm just gonna mix these 3 highlighters. I really like this one called Liddy, and I'm going to highlight my face. I had basically known I had had endometriosis. My gynecologist, or not my gynecologist, I guess I went to the gynecologist once, but like they didn't do an exam when I was like younger. They had said like, oh, you probably have endometriosis, but the only way to test for it officially is to get surgery and like open you fucking up. So I finally went to the gynecologist, and she told me like, yeah, it 100% sounds like you've got endometriosis. After me talking about my symptoms, and by talking I mean crying about my symptoms, she then was like, if you're comfortable, I would like want to do a regular ultrasound and then a vaginal ultrasound where they just like stick this like giant dildo with like a camera like inside your vagina, which is fine. And I like made the joke being like, me, I've had bigger. And she was like, you're funny. And I was like, thank you so much. That's all I care about. I mean, I care about like you being like on top of the health of my vagina, but like also I care that you think I'm funny. So for eyeshadow, I'm going into the Tartelette in Bloom palette. This color Flower Child, Smarty Pants, and I just like mix those and just do something really light through my crease. And so when doing the regular ultrasound, she was like, I don't see any like cysts or anything like that. And with endometriosis, again, you can only test it and like see if you have endometriosis from doing the surgery. So any doctor that tells you like, oh, an ultrasound will tell us if you have it or not true. It can tell you if you have cysts, but it like cannot see if there is like any of that growth. Sometimes it can like catch different things, but it won't be able to see that. So even if you have like a totally like fine ultrasound, like even a vaginal one, it doesn't mean that you don't have it. So she did the regular ultrasound and basically, I mean, found out some like very interesting stuff about my reproductive system. I have an inverted uterus. I like looked it up once. I was like, does that mean like when I have kids, like I'm gonna get like a baby bump like on my butt? No, but it does. Like a lot of women who were on, I didn't know I was pregnant. Most of them had, I think it's inverted or retro something, like flipped uteruses because you can't see you're pregnant for a long time. And I was like, oh, cool. Also my like whole like my ovaries, my uterus, and like everything is like to my left side and like the back, which is why I get really bad back pain when I have cramps. And then when she did the vaginal ultrasound, she was like immediately being like, what day did you say you were like on of your cycle right now? And I think it was like a week and a half, like 10, yeah, I think it was like 10 days ago. And then she was like, the uterine lining that you have has built up so much. She's like, it looks like you're about to get your period tomorrow. And so she was like, you must have like periods from hell. Like that makes complete sense. Like if this is how thick this lining is 10 days after your last cycle and like you're not gonna get your period for like at least another like 20, like probably like around 20 days, like that's not good. She basically was fantastic, and I was so lucky because I know a lot of gynecologists still don't believe that endometriosis is a thing. And like it's one of the places you can see the direct proof of what happens when men are in power of healthcare. And I was so lucky to have her, and she was like very like empathetic and was great and was like, this is oh Megan, don't get upset. Ugh. And she was like, this is like no way to be living your life, and it's not okay, and like we're like, this is not acceptable. She basically said that she wasn't comfortable with me having my cycle as it normally was, and so she wanted to put me on a birth control pill that had a very, very low level of hormones, just because like I do struggle with like depression and things like that she didn't want anything that would influence it. And it's the same reason why I didn't do an IUD or anything that requires her to remove it, that she was like, I want, if you feel like really, really depressed or you think that like it's getting especially bad, like I want you to be able to stop taking it immediately. Like I don't want you to have to make an appointment or do anything like that. And with the insertion of an IUD, it can have a lot of cramps too. And so she was like, I don't want to add any of that to this at all. So I'm currently on a birth control. I switched to taking it from the morning to taking it now at night, which I switched today. So that's apparently supposed to help with the fact that it's been making me feel really nauseous. Testing it out for 3 months, and if it doesn't work, I'll try another one. And I got a lot of messages from people being like, don't do birth control, just track your cycle. And I'm like, bitch, are you new here? Obviously I don't want to get pregnant right now, but that's not what I'm on it for. And yeah, it sucks to see that there's like a lot of people who are so anti that and think that like, I don't know, like it's just like the visibility of women's pain. It just makes me like upset of being like, nobody's first choice is to go on like medication that alters their hormones and that has like shitty side effects. Like no one wants that. If you're experiencing really bad side effects from something, it's usually because you're taking it because you need to. It's the same reason like antidepressants come with side effects, like anti-anxiety medication, like Adderall, like everything, but it's not, think if everybody could like will away their health issues, they would, but some people have to take medication. And so I wish there wasn't such like a, I don't know, like a stigma around it. Cause I get a lot of messages. I get way more messages of people being like, oh, like, I'm so happy you're taking control of your body and all of that stuff. But like, I still get a lot of people who are like ignorant as fuck about it, but not my problem. That was my really long explanation about my current status with birth control. I'm not gonna be talking about specific brands or anything anymore. I did post about the one that I was taking. It did invite a lot of people talking about their experience like it's everyone's experience, which is totally, like, I understand that. Just made me feel really out of control and helpless because everyone said like, I love this is great, you're gonna love it, it's gonna be perfect. And then I was like, fuck, if it doesn't work for me, that makes me feel like that there's nothing else that's gonna work for me. And then people are being like, this is the worst thing ever, like you're gonna wanna kill yourself if you're on it, like you're gonna commit suicide. And I was like, wow, okay, shit. Like, and it was just a lot from both sides. So I'm not gonna talk about like brands and specific stuff anymore because your doctor will be able to go over with you what's gonna be best for you because it affects everyone differently. And my doctor even said the example of like, she's like, we've got like twins who are on 2 different kinds of birth control because they can't be on the same one because it affects their bodies differently. And I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. I really understand things about twins. And I also have a thing like adult twins freak me out. No offense to people who are in adult twins, but like I just don't know a lot of adult twins. And like you think of twins as like little kids walking around, but then you're like, oh, wow, they're like full grown adults, like who just look the same. Talking about identical twins here, guys. Is that crazy? I don't know why. I just brought that up. I guess I can answer a couple more questions. I don't even have that much left of my makeup to do. Oh shit, Megan, no, don't fuck that up. You have to spray first. Gonna spray and set it with the all-nighter makeup setting spray. Does this shit do anything? You know, like, does it do anything? How did you get diagnosed / find out you have ADHD? I actually had a teacher in 7th grade who he had ADD, and he brought it up to my school nurse or my parents. So brought it up to, or me, like the school did like a test kind of thing. So I did, but my parents were not into medicating me because they didn't want it to like change my personality. So now I have a complex about being stupid, when in reality, taking medication does not make me be limitless. It just makes me function at the level of like a subpar adult. A lot of people have asked me about what has happened with my parents. Get ready to read my book. Someone asked if Don't Blame Me will be on Spotify. That's my podcast, and it is. It's already on Spotify. If you search Don't Blame Me, not only will you find Taylor Swift, but you'll also find my podcast. Another one of you guys asked how to know if a relationship is over. I think if you're asking somebody the question, if it's coming from like your own feelings towards somebody, if you're questioning it, I think it's kind of already over. But if it's like with your partner, I think the only thing you can do is ask them. And I think a lot of the times we don't want to ask questions because we only want one answer. And if it's like gonna be the answer that we don't want, we'd rather just not know, but it's gonna come out eventually. I'm also using the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. Also, my eyelashes are, I feel like they're kind of growing. I stopped getting lash extensions in like November, around the same time that I stopped doing my nails, and I like just said fuck self-care. But then I started going to like a lot of therapy, so that's okay. I have always been like Cameron Diaz in The Holiday, who like never cries, but then I became like a massive crier. My therapist is like, it's like the floodgates have opened and they just like won't shut yet until like you get everything out that you've been bearing your whole life. And I was like, sick, bro. So I haven't had lash extensions in a while, and I'm like pretty proud of the fact that like my real lashes, I feel like, have been growing. Oh, someone asked if I could live anywhere, where would I want to live? I want to move to Nashville. I've never been. But I feel like I would really love it. Mots and I talk about that all the time, like where we would move to. We play this new game where we just name like random cities that aren't like, fuck, I got mascara on my eyelid, that aren't like big, famous, like wanderlust kind of cities. I don't want to offend anybody by saying the cities that we've named. And it's like, would you rather live there or in LA? And we usually always pick the other city. The only ones we didn't pick is any city in Florida, because Florida's crazy. Do I should wait till the fucking top of this drive so I can take it off? Do you think you'll be getting engaged soon, and any interest in being married? No and yes. I've learned a lot of this from the podcast, or I've just been exposed to it more. Someone asked me this on like an Instagram Q&A I did a couple weeks ago about like, do I feel pressure to get married because of like my friends and stuff? And I was like, most of my friends are single. I think it's definitely a like location-based cultural thing. I don't have any friends like at all who are like married or engaged. I get so many questions about it, and I'm like, that's so funny because most of my friends are single. And I'm like, if I got married, everyone would be like, what are you doing? Like, this is so weird. Yeah, eventually, just not like now, you know? Homegirl forgot to do her eyebrows. Okay, let's do that. I'm interested in someone that seems emotionally unavailable. What do I do? And she asked that 5 times, so I feel like I really need to answer it. If someone's emotionally unavailable, there's nothing you can do. Like, you need to move on and be done with it. I think there's this like romantic idea about like, I can be the girl who changes him, like he'll realize one day. But I don't know, I'm not here for that at all. If someone's emotionally unavailable and they seem it, even if they don't say it, like, trust your gut, trust your intuition. It's not gonna end well if you ignore those signs, or how obvious or subtle that they are. And I've said this on the podcast, so if you don't listen to the podcast, maybe this is new information, but you should listen to the podcast. Being in a relationship and being ready for a relationship it doesn't matter, not that it doesn't matter who it's with, but so much of it has to do with you. So you can be like dating the greatest person ever, but if you're not ready for a relationship, it doesn't matter how great that person is. Like, you're not gonna be ready for a relationship. relationship. I just think two people both have to be ready, and trying to get someone to be ready if they're not, you would never want someone to do that to you, and it's also just wasting both of your time, and all that's going to do is break your heart. FYI, for brows, I use this Hourglass pencil and then this Hourglass brow gel. I like hardly fill my brows in anymore, which I just think is a better look for me. I'm so shiny. I'm here for it. What's your and Motz's fighting style? How do you settle disagreements? We go to couples therapy, which is the greatest thing ever, and everybody should go. It's amazing. Okay, brows. Wow, someone wants to work with me. What do you want to do with me? Best Netflix shows. I, like the rest of the world, am obsessed with Queer Eye. I am a Jonathan, if you didn't know. What else do I love? Oh, this is also the MAC lip liner in Boldly Bare. And I just kind of do this like at my Cupid's bow and right underneath my lids, just for definition. Maybe a little there too. Oh, Great British Bake Off, which I know is like BBC, but obsessed. What else? Like originals or shows that are on Netflix? I mean, everyone just needs to watch The Good Place and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Those are the only two shows that matter. And this is Benefit Posy Tint. It's travel size because what I brought to Ecuador, but I just don't love wearing like a ton of lip stuff that wears off because I get a weird line on my lips when I do that. There she goes. There she goes. Don't worry guys, I'm getting my hair done next week. Okay everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. My very shiny makeup. I was gonna call it a no makeup, but I feel like I put on a lot of mascara, so it's pretty obvious that I'm wearing makeup. Yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you enjoy the like more casual, me not sending myself into a spiral trying so hard kind of video. If you do, let me know because I'm gonna need a lot of positive reinforcement so I can continue doing videos like this. Otherwise I'm gonna be like, no it doesn't, I can only film videos if there's a drone, says the girl who's used a drone like once. But yeah, you guys should follow me on Instagram if you want more regular updates, and there is also a really great place, including Twitter is a good place too, to like let me know what other kind of videos you want, but also comment below and tell me. I'll link everything that I used makeup wise and all that stuff down below too, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye!